What's going on, everybody? It's just Super Robot, and today we have in front of you none other than the Transformers Legacy Velocitron Speedia 500 Collection Cybertron Universe Override. So for some of you, this is Override. For others, this is Nitro Convoy. There really isn't much difference except in the Cybertron version of the show. This was a female character. In the Japanese community, this was a male character. Now, for the sake of being, I don't know, I never really watched Cybertron nor Galaxy Force. Not a big fan of the trilogy after Armada because that was animated. And of course, if you ever know about Armada, you really want to watch Micron Legend because that came with the correct animation frames and paint. It wasn't rushed like it was for Cartoon Network. That's why Armada looks like crap. Another story for another day. But Energon and Cybertron, I watched very little bits and pieces. I do remember the episode with her in it, which it's just so murky which way to go. We're just going to refer to it as a robot. I don't know which way I want to go with it. But this is a Voyager size vehicle, which I have caveats why they didn't make Elita 1 Voyager size. You know, but hey, that's another story for another day again. But I have to admit, they did do a pretty good job of doing a rendition of the original. We do have the original. We actually have the Galaxy Force version, which has better paint apps. It doesn't have the burnt orange face, and we'll see that later on in the video. So I do have Nitro Convoy, and it's just based on a few more paint apps and subtle changes, but primarily they're the same car. But let's look at the packaging real quick. And it comes in the packaging where the car kind of sits at an angle in here. But the packaging is really nice. So as we know now, a majority of the Legacy has been sold to Walmart. Point blank. The remaining Legacy line is now Walmart. Walmart purchased it. We'll talk about Legacy in another video. But anyway, not a big fan of Legacy. Here's the artwork on the side, very nice. Nothing else on the other side. I do love the packaging here. 19 steps to transform. She is it's a very simple transformation. A few twists and turns, but you'll see that when we do. So we're gonna go over measurements of the car mode. Well, let's look at the car first. So the car has translucent red tires, and they're almost identical. Literally, when we show off some things, it's got the red cockpit. You can see the head here, which is again cool. It always reminds me of a Mach 5. But there are some left out details, and you can see more of the arms exposed here. The gun is not as much detailed as the original, but all in all, they did use some quality plastics on this. And so we're gonna measure it out. Since this is Voyager size, and in car mode, it is about 5 inches. All right, so let's compare it to a few other vehicles I have. Again, dead-ass Optimus Prime. You can see it's a pretty big car. And just so you can see comparison with a Deluxe, which is, so odd that they would do that choice. We're gonna bring in Smokescreen. And as you can see, Smokescreen is not as small as it is, but still, if you compare the two, this one, it's just a bigger car. So that's enough with comparisons with some of the Earthrise figures. So let's compare it with the OG. Now, again, this is Nitro Convoy. So as you can see here, they did pretty much keep it pretty much faithful. I think, in some instances, and I do kind of like this car mode better. It just feels more substantial. But when you get the robot, you'll understand. But it always, like I said, it's a Mach 5. It's a Mach 5, and I think when this came out, I think it was like a Mach 5 movie or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm old. But as you can see here with the details at the top here, yeah, I still prefer the newer version for that. The head sculpts are weird. As you can see, like the slope of the head versus the slope of the head here. The cockpit, I think you can open. No, you can't do it. Open it. No, you can't open the cockpit. Of course, you can do it on this one. This one is more or less spring loaded. Other than that, though, it's hard to say because both of them look really good. Let's look at the underside. So this, to me, was just an unnecessary piece. And I just never understood what this piece was for. And being that they kind of folded up the legs into here on the new version, shows, like they're seeing it too, like, what was this for? Other than that, the wheeling, the way that the wheels are set are pretty much the same. They're on a, you can see there and you can see it there, but the arms, they interlock where these, are on each side of, the, like, I guess you could say this is like the back, more or less. But yeah, other than that, and let's look at it from the, the only thing I don't like is the weapon is a little, and it's kind of rinky dinky. The, like mechanism part compared to this one. I always did like that touch they gave it to it. And then of course from the back, it still has more, I guess, material to it. But other than that, though, it does. But both of them, they do look good. So, like I said, for vehicle mode, I still like the original in some ways, but I like the improvements made on this one. And so, we're done talking about that forever. Let's go ahead and get ready to start in transformation in 2 and 2. All right. Now, after that, we're gonna do this first. And then basically just unfurl the legs. That's all you gotta do. No, I'm serious. That's all you gotta do. Just unfurl the legs. Now, when you unfurl the legs, you're gonna notice a few things. Let's look at that. Gonna notice that there's these little pieces here. We're gonna get to those in a minute, because now you're gonna turn this. And it kind of just folds into place. You'll hear it snap. See, it's like a little, can't find it, but I think it snaps in here. It's like a little snap. It snaps in there. So you just snap it in. You ain't gotta do all that. So you go behind here. You want to swing that up. Why do you want to swing it up? So when you swing the leg down, it's gonna fold into that slot right there. It should fit just like that. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Turn it around. Take this. Fold the feet out. You probably want to fold the feet out first before you turn it, but I turned it early, so big deal. And then, like I said, you want to look for that little part, and it should just find it. And that's it. And that's the legs. Then you want to just turn this around. Then from back here, you'll see that everything interlocks. They literally interlock at the arm. See right there? That's where they interlock. You just basically unfold that and kind of fold these down. And here's where it got kind of tricky for me when I first got this thing. I was messing up. But once you unlock everything, you kind of just fold it up. So once you unlock everything, you just kind of fold it up. The reason why you want to fold it up is because when you fold this down, you'll see these are on sliders. Little sliders there. And you kind of got to fold it down so that you see that part right there? It's going to be that part that latches into, it's cleared out here. Let's get this clear right there by the head. That's where it's going to go into. So basically, you just kind of, when you get the arms into position, they will fold into there. And if you've done it right, they should just fold. Oh, I forgot about this part. That has to go, this part, right where my finger is, has to go and fit in there. So you got to kind of do two things here. And once they fit into place, then that's when you get the correct shoulder lock. And you're going to do the same thing on this side. I want to make sure we see that, how everything kind of slides into place and just locks in. And then once everything locks in, I think I messed up on this side. Then once you get that shoulder piece locked in place, it should be nice and even. So we're going to show it off from the back. Sorry about that. I had to get off camera for a second because I thought I was going to break this. Then turn it around, and the fist, they rotate. Yep. And this part right here, the guns, they can go on the back as a backpack or as part of as the gun. And we'll show that off in a minute. But as you can see here, they did a really fantastic job with this figure. Like, the proportions, I think, are what everybody loves about this figure. So overall, NITRO Convoy is in its robot mode, and I've got to admit, I'm gonna be honest with you, I like this one. I really do. Like, this is, so I know that they're doing the whole Prime, Transformers Prime, but they're making it more G1, where this maintains its Cybertronian mode, and you can still use this in your collection. Like, this would good as a new character. I'm sorry, it does look good. So let's look at the head sculpt real quick. As you can see there, the head sculpt and paint job is phenomenal. Everything is phenomenal about this figure. Let's get the height and then we'll do the comparisons. And so this figure stands at about 6 inches. It's 6 inches tall. Let's get some comparisons in. Because this one is not going to be as long as the other ones. Everything came with it. So this is a deluxe. There's a Smokescreen. So he is a little taller than Smokescreen. And let's just bring in, because we had him in a previous video, none other than Optimus Prime, who stands at about 7 inches. Now see, that's a good height. I would have preferred a Leader 1 to be that height. I really wish they had made a Leader 1 that height. That would have been the icing on the cake. I think that would have been better than making her so small, like, I think that would have worked better. But so far, so good. However, which way you want to go with this character, he, I don't know, because like I said, depending on which continuity, they fit in well together. Now, before we go over the comparisons with the OG, let's discuss articulation. So first things first, this is the backpack that becomes the weapon. Now, the original toy, we'll show that off. You can see where they kind of molded in where you would put in the, if you could see it, I know it's not going to be easy to see, but they molded in the portion where it would look like you would stick in the Cybertron key, which again, some of these gimmicks we just can't have, but mini cons we should have. So basically, instead of sticking in the key to make the weapons deploy, you just basically do like this, and you got 2 giant blaster weapons, and then you just put it in here's her hand, and voila, you got a gun. Now, articulation is basic. When I say basic, it's basic just like any other form. It goes out to here, it goes out to there. Leg bends all the way back to here. Feet swivel, which is a very nice addition. We'll talk about that in a moment. Arm does a 360 all the way. The fists do rotate. Arm swivels at the bicep curl. Head kind of looks up and down, but it does do a 360. And again, like I said, translucent from the back. I didn't really pay attention to that. That's nice. Nice homage. And of course, it does rotate in the waist. Kind of rotates unless you lift this up. The waist, you'll get some rotation, but not a whole lot because of this part on the back. And unfortunately, you can't get around that because of the fact that the toy is supported by that part. But that's okay. I mean, it has the modern articulation. You'll get something. You won't just get like a static chest. But the head sculpt is very, very nice. This is one of my, this has become my favorite figure I've gotten. So we're going to show off NITRO Convoy, because again, this is NITRO Convoy. This is not Override. It's just not Override. A few things that we're gonna have to address. This toy does not stand up well when you have. But the feet were an issue. Like, the feet needed more clearance, more tolerance, something. But it just, unless you have a really, really flat surface, this figure has the just worst articulation. So for the sake of the rest of the video, I'm going to take this off just so I can get him to stand up a little better. This is, you know, it's annoying to have to. But I do want to show you the head sculpt. So the head sculpt, the face sculpt, I should say, is not the burnt orange face where it kind of blended in with the face. They actually painted it subdued gold, and that's why it does look better. And it has the, like I said, the accents on the leg and the black paint on the vents. This is how you know it's the Japanese version. Now, when you want to deploy the weapon, oh Lord, the thing is just not going to stand up. It just does not stand up on the surface. Basically, what you would do is, I don't have a speed key. I don't know, I forgot this is not a speed key, but basically you just plug it in and the weapon deploys. And that's basically what it looks like. And the weapon deploys, and what you can do, just like the newer version, you kind of put it in his hand, but it doesn't fit well. So you'll have to take this out again. So yeah, there's issues, you know, when you first get these figures that you love and say, oh, the older one is better, the plastics were better. No, the arms are a pain in the butt. The legs just don't stand up well. It's just not like, this is one of those figures, kind of like what they did with Galvatron and the Stunticons, that needed an update because it just didn't stand up well. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into focus. But as you can see, like I said, it's really hard to fiddle with him. The liberties that they took with him, and they're pretty much the same size. You see that? I mean, they're pretty much the same size, but you know, it's not that big, you know, wide chest, you know, that's in the arms. You don't have that gimmick where it's, you know. Let's go to final thoughts before I get in trouble. A1 figure, man. A1 figure. I love the update. You know, it's simple. Could they have done a gimmick? Maybe. I don't know. You know, it's all about how much money the company is willing to spend. But I think this is a great update to a character that a lot of people may or may not like. Now, I hear a lot of people saying, don't buy this character, don't spend $33. Well, it's up to you. All I'm going to tell you is, I don't know if this is going to be something that's going to fly off the shelf. But to be quite honest with you, I didn't see this character when I went in the store. That was odd too. And I went in early one morning, like 6:30 in the morning at Walmart, and they had all the Velocitron figures except for him, Clampdown, which I don't know why. I don't know what everybody's chasing Clampdown for. And of course, none other than Cosmos. And, you know, like I said, I really wasn't interested in chasing down a Cosmos, and I don't care for Clampdown, because, like, you know, after a while, how many times can you have a repaint of the Lambo? Again, this was one of the figures that I wanted, along with the Black Convoy, or Scourge. Black Convoy is really Black Convoy, because they're using the Japanese continuity symbol. With that being said, if you like this figure, but you've never really dealt with Cybertron, I'm going to say that this figure is probably one of the better figures to buy, just because it's different. It's not, it's just different. It can fit in your G1. You can do it. You can fit it in any way you want. But they did a really good job. The only thing I wish they did was kind of paint, you know, the feet gold, well, silver, which, I mean, I can do that with a marker or something like that. I can get gold accents on that. But other than that, that's just the minor nitpick. Everything else is very faithful to the original and better even. So I would say get the figure if you like it. If you don't like it, don't get it. That's just plain and simple. Don't wait for a sale for something that you really didn't want in the first place. Just leave it for someone else to buy. You know what I'm saying? That makes it easier for someone else to get it versus being scalped for no reason, just to make a few bucks on eBay. And I mean, it's stupid to scalp the figure and turn around and sell on eBay and then pay fees, and then you really only made out actually making less of a profit. I think it's just sad, but I can't tell people what to do with their toys, how to sell. It is what it is. So this is a fantastic figure. Go out and get it. My name is Super Robot Ed. We'll see you soon in our news and reviews. Bye-bye.